another video, another episode of our rebuild where we rebuild every single NBA team. We're on episode 3. So after this, 27 more episodes to go, which means hopefully 27 more weeks to go. And today we're going to be rebuilding the Brooklyn Nets. And this will be very hard to rebuild. You may think this might actually be one of my easier episodes because what I do, if you didn't know the rules, check out episode 1. I do explain all the rules. However, I will give you like an insight on this. What I do is I use the trade machine and I make several trades with this team. And what I end up doing is I face the original team with the current team. And the rules are I have to do it with a trade machine. And with the trade machine, it has to say for our team. Or for our team, it doesn't matter how many, if we get negative or positive wins. But in terms of, what we're trading for the other team, it has to bring +1 wins for the other team or higher. If it's +0 wins, it doesn't affect, based on Hollander's analysis, if it doesn't affect the team or if it's negative, my trade doesn't work. So this makes it a very tough series to do. And with the Brooklyn Nets, you may say it's easy because I end up facing the original team in the end of the episode with my revamped team. However, it's very hard, there's not many pieces on this Brooklyn Nets team that are very good. So it's hard to trade these players with other players around this league. So yeah, let's get right into this. We'll be explaining our current team right now. So, at point guard, we have Mr. Jeremy Lin. Jeremy Lin is a great point guard. I think, I'm not sure what I want to do with him at this point in this episode because I could trade him if I get the right offer. And he's a decent player, but I think we could definitely improve in this position. I think we could basically improve in all the positions. However, people that are safe in this team, there's not really anyone safe, to be honest, because, even maybe the person I might consider safe is Rondae Hollis-Jefferson. However, he's not that safe because of the fact that behind him there's Trevor Booker, and Trevor Booker is a fantastic player too. And one of them, I will say, will end up getting traded because of the fact that we just have so much at the power forward position, we can afford to basically improve at other positions. So, yeah, Jeremy Lin as our starting point guard, Isaiah Whitehead, Spencer Dinwiddie, Archie Goodwin, probably looking to improve there. However, Jeremy Lin is a fantastic point guard, and ever since the insanity, people don't think that he's a great point guard because of the fact that how he went off with at the New York Knicks. However, he's still averaging very good numbers and is a very good point guard. People think because he's not Linsanity again that he's not that good of a point guard. However, he's a fantastic point guard for the Brooklyn Nets. Sadly, Brooklyn no longer there for the Brooklyn Nets because of the fact that Brook Lopez did get traded to the Los Angeles Lakers. So we can't say the joke about Brook Lopez with Jeremy Lin, Brooklyn. And yeah, so at shooting guard, DeAngelo Russell. We have Russell, Kilpatrick, and Joe Harris. And all of these players, again, they're not that safe. DeAngelo Russell doesn't actually tend to have good trade value in this game, so I probably will look to keep him. However, if we do get a good trade, I'm up for trading him. I'm up for trading any of these players. At small forward, we have Karis LeVert with a backup to Mark Carroll. Probably our second best position, only behind power forward, because of the fact that Karis LeVert is a very strong player. Plus, DeMar Carroll was a cracking player for the Toronto Raptors last year. Hollis Jefferson, Trevor Booker, Quincy Asen, Andrew Nicholson. Again, as I said earlier, we will end up trading either Hollis Jefferson or Booker, and that's actually going to be in the first trade, but we're going to talk about center position. Timothy Mozgov, Jared Allen, 2 great players. Maybe we trade one of them. We have to see what happens. So, now we get into the trades for our team. As trade number 1, we actually have an interesting one. We're going to be receiving Ish Smith and Stanley Johnson. And we're going to end up giving away Trevor Booker. Why did I make this trade? Because one, as I said before, Hollis Jefferson or Trevor Booker would get traded. We ended up trading Trevor Booker. And that probably does mean Rondé Hollis-Jefferson will be safe from this team. Will probably be starting. You have to see what happens. But Ish Smith is a great player. He's one of my favorite players in the NBA. One of the most underrated players in the NBA. His passing is just incredible. And Stanley Johnson is a very good defensive player because I feel that this team does need defensive players on their team because we're a good offensive team. However, I think using that defensive player could be something for the team. Ish Smith, as I said before, is in the team, which means maybe competition with Jeremy Lin, DeAngelo Russell. Again, that probably means we're going to be trading someone. Jeremy Lin might be gone. DeAngelo Russell might be gone. Or we could be trading our backup point guards in our team, like Whitehead, Dinwiddie, and Goodwin. You have to see what happens. And as I say that, we will be trading one of our backup point guards, not a big one, but we're going to be trading Timothy Mozgov. Yes, Timothy Mozgov, we're going to be trading him because we just received him, but we are going to be trading him again. We're going to be trading his fat contract with DeMarre Carroll. So the two players the Nets just got in, the two players the Nets just received, are going to be traded back out. And we're also going to be trading Spencer Dinwiddie and Sean Kilpatrick. And Timothy Mozgov is going back to his team because we are receiving Luol Deng. And I know you may be thinking right now, Luol Deng for all of these four players? But here who we also got. We're receiving Brook Lopez too. So we just got back, as I said before, Brooklyn. Because of the fact that Timothy Mozgov, he's leaving, DeMarre Carroll's leaving, Spencer Dinwiddie's packing his bags to LA, and Kilpatrick's packing his bags to LA. Luol Deng is in, and that's just one of our contracts we're taking, just so, we could have probably done with, maybe taking DeMarre Carroll and Luol Deng out, but because of contracts, we just needed them to go in the trade. And, Brook Lopez is coming back to the team, which, to me, he's almost like an all-star type player, but because he plays in the Brooklyn Nets, he doesn't get that added value to him. And I think on the Lakers, he could be a candidate for most improved player because of the fact that I think people may be seeing what Brook Lopez can do next season. And trade number 3, Brooklyn came back. Now it's gone because we had an overload at point guard. We're going to be getting Garrett Temple, Willie Cauley-Stein, and Malachi Richardson. Now this trade, with our 2 other trades, we did end up getting rid of, when we traded with the Lakers, we got rid of 4 players and received 2. So that's a big loss in terms of player depth. And because especially, Sean Kilpatrick, very good bench player. Timothy Mozgov, he was actually a starter. However, we didn't trade him. He'd be coming off the bench, obviously, behind Brook Lopez. And DeMarre Carroll would be an excellent bench player. So we needed to add some bench. So getting Garrett Temple adds, that great bench. Willie Cauley-Stein coming off the bench for Brook Lopez. And for, that power forward position too, he'll probably be behind, maybe coming off the bench behind Deng, maybe starting. I'll tell you after in terms of our starting lineup. However, I feel with this trade, it just, we get that bench. Malachi Richardson, a very good bench player, and we didn't really have a good shooting guard, so he's in. Willie Cauley-Stein, he's in, and then Temple will end up being our backup small forward. So, that's it for trades. Let's get into our team. So, at point guard for our revamped team, we're going to be starting Ish Smith. Because obviously we got him in because Jeremy Lin was out. And Ish Smith, as I said before, a great player. And I believe he can play 30 minutes on this team because he's never really done that in his career. He's just been a journeyman who's been a bench player averaging like 7 assists off the bench or something absurd like that. So Ish Smith's in. Backup, Isaiah Whitehead, Dinwiddie, and Goodwin. Whitehead, fantastic backup. Dinwiddie and Goodwin, I tried looking for trades with them. Maybe being part of that Lakers trade or other trades. Couldn't really find an offer. So they're going to be playing about 2 minutes off the bench. And then at shooting guard, we do end up having DeAngelo Russell. And then we have Richardson and Harris. But what we end up doing I state that we have Richardson and Harris. However, what we end up doing is, at shooting guard playing DeAngelo Russell, Sean Kilpatrick, Joe Harris, and Jeremy Lin. That's really our depth chart because players like Jeremy Lin, or not Jeremy Lin, excuse me, but players like Garrett Temple. That's what I mean. Garrett Temple, he's still going to play a good 2 minutes for that shooting guard position, and that would be fantastic for our team. So, yeah, Ish Smith, Whitehead, Dinwiddie will play. The player that's not going to really be receiving any minutes on this team, sadly, is going to be Archie Goodwin. But that's okay because we're already giving 8 minutes to Spencer Dinwiddie. Probably should have traded him, or probably should have gave him 0 minutes too and gave Ish Smith 27 and Whitehead, what's 48 minus 27, whatever that is. I'm bad at thinking on the spot. What is it? It's 21. Giving Isaiah Whitehead 21 minutes, which is 5 extra minutes, and Ish Smith giving him 3 extra minutes. Shooting guard, obviously, I said DeAngelo Russell. He'll be getting 31. And then we have kind of many backups, I should say, in this. We have Joe Harris, Karis LeVert, and Garrett Temple. All these players are playing less than 10 minutes. However, they make up 17 minutes. And considering DeAngelo Russell's only playing 31, and they have abundance of minutes as a backup, but none of them have 10 minutes, it shows how that third trade really gave us that depth that we needed. So I think that's a fantastic trade. At small forward, we do end up playing Rondae Hollis-Jefferson with a backup of Garrett Temple, Karis LeVert, and Luol Deng. Rondae Hollis-Jefferson, the clear starter. And then we have Garrett Temple off the bench, which I think fantastic. He's also playing 4th-string shooting guard for 2 minutes, so he'll be playing 18 minutes total. Karis LeVert also playing shooting guard, so he'll have a total of 11 minutes. So you see how and same thing with Luol Deng, he's actually starting in a power forward position. However, at small forward, he's adding 2 minutes. So he gets a total of 30 minutes. You see how all of these players on this team, they're flexible, and they can play more than one position, which is very good for the team because this team's not very good. So what we really need is stamina, putting one player on, and I think this would be fantastic, one player on for 20 minutes, and then you have another player on for 10 minutes, whereas this regular Nets team had players on for as long as, 32 minutes, and then you have the backup playing 11 minutes and 5, and even in that center position, they have Timothy Mozgov, who's playing 30 minutes, and then they have Trevor Booker playing 18 minutes. But Trevor Booker's also at the power forward position playing 11 minutes there too. So you really see there, it's a struggle for them to really give those good minutes to the team for all those players. We're going to look at the individual depth charts, break down next point guard, shooting guard, small forward, power forward, center, who I think is going to win in the starting roles. Start off point guard Jeremy Lin versus point guard Ish Smith. In terms of scoring, obviously Jeremy Lin brings that to the table. And I think, in terms of this, DeAngelo Russell, if Ish Smith is not playing that well as point guard, DeAngelo Russell could take over as point guard. However, Ish Smith is a fantastic passing point guard. As I said, he's a very nice pass-first point guard. And passing to these players like DeAngelo Russell, passing to Rondae Hollis-Jefferson is great for the team. Even Brook Lopez, he's very good in that post. So that's going to be fantastic for the team. So in terms of this, I'm not really sure who wins the matchup. I think this is an even draw. Because if you look at it, it really just depends. Do you need scoring on your team or do you need passing? So in the series, if we end up needing scoring from our point guard, then we may bring Ish Smith off the bench because then he won't be playing that well because I think Ish Smith would really benefit on a team like, I know anyone on the Golden State Warriors would obviously benefit. However, I think Ish Smith is a fantastic player to play on that team because he's such a great distributor, and I think he's one of the best distributors in the league. At shooting guard, DeAngelo Russell, obvious tie. However, looking at how he may impact the game from players around him, I do think DeAngelo Russell on our team ends up winning this matchup because of the fact that he's playing less minutes. On our team, he's playing 31. On their team, he's only playing 25 minutes. However, he's taking them in, if you see 25 minutes, but Sean Kilpatrick's playing 10 minutes, 8 minutes, 5. On our team, we have players like DeAngelo Russell will start, play 10 minutes. Then Joe Harris will come in, play 8 minutes. DeAngelo Russell will come back in, play 10 minutes. Karis LeVert will come in, play 7 minutes. And then, 10 minutes from Russell. And then 2 minutes from Temple, and finish up the game with 1 minute from Russell, that type of thing. And depending on where we need him, he's always going to be ready to come in, and he's going to bring that energy, bring that stamina. So, yes, he may be playing more minutes, however, he's playing less minutes at a time than DeAngelo Russell on that other team. And the fact that we have Ish Smith passing the ball, as I said, Jeremy Lin may end up winning the individual matchup in terms of the points. However, Ish Smith will make all of his teammates better, which means DeAngelo Russell may actually be better than the original DeAngelo Russell. Next, we have at small forward, Rondae Hollis-Jefferson versus Karis LeVert. I think by this one, Rondae Hollis-Jefferson wins by far, because if you look at our team, Karis LeVert is playing 11 minutes total. If you look at their team, Karis LeVert is forced to play 25 minutes, and I don't think Karis LeVert is that good of a player. That's why he is third string small forward, third string shooting guard. Excuse me. But I think Rondae Hollis-Jefferson is a fantastic player, and that's why if we move on to the power forward position, Hollis-Jefferson versus an old, not very good, I think Tom Thibodeau. Read my blog post on it. I think Tom Thibodeau ruined 3 Bulls careers and possibly Zach LaVine. However, Luol Deng, I think he's a washed-up all-star, which is sad because he's still he's not 35 yet. 35 I might be understanding, however. Less than that, maybe 34, yeah, but, 33 and under, I think if you're an all-star, you're still going to be good unless, really something drastically change your career. So, it's sadly going to say, but Rondae Hollis-Jefferson is going to beat Luol Deng in this matchup by far, because of the fact that I just don't see him playing that well. But this is why we have Stanley Johnson. Wherever Rondae Hollis-Jefferson plays on this team, I want Stanley Johnson to be coming in and guarding him at times if Luol Deng is not doing the job. So I think maybe Stanley Johnson carries over to that starting role if Luol Deng's not playing that well. However, I think bringing in Stanley Johnson could be a fantastic move. And at center, I think we all know Brook Lopez beats Timothy Mozgov by far. I think Cauley Stein would beat Timothy Mozgov. Even that would beat Timothy Mozgov because Timothy Mozgov is an overplayer player that's not that good. So yeah, let's get right into the games. Enough chatter. Let's get into game 1 against the regular Nets. So, in this game 1, we ended up winning this game 90-74. Low-scoring game, actually. Could that mean that Stanley Johnson is playing well? Let's look at the stats. Before we do, actually, let's just look at the individual quarters. Our team played outstanding in that 10 more points in that first quarter, and we really played well every quarter except for that fourth quarter. If you look at the third quarter, we beat them by 10 points. So every quarter it looked good until that fourth. It looked like it slipped off a little. It could just be that they were trying to go for it and we were trying to sit back, rest our players too. That could be a possible option. But the regular Nets, obviously, if you in terms of the statistics, Jeremy Lin went off 15 points. That's why I think, in terms of the points, Jeremy Lin's going to beat Ish Smith by far. However, passing, may not. And then you do see 10 rebounds. Wow, that's a lot for Jeremy Lin. But 4 assists. I think Ish Smith can beat that. I definitely think he can beat that 4 assists. Hopefully he does, because hopefully that proves that, we made a good trade. We made good trades. Another good game, 11 points from Trevor Booker with 12 rebounds. He shot 5 for 11, which is a fantastic game. But however, look at deloading DeAngelo Russell. He played 24 minutes on their team, shot only 2 for 10, 1 for 5 from 3, and only had 7 points with 5 turnovers. And then if you look below, Karis LeVert, Same thing with him, 3 for 10, 1 for 4 from 3. And he only had 4 rebounds. He did have 4 steals, however. 6 turnovers. Wow. And he only had 7 points. So I think those two starters, starting in the backcourt with each other, that's what really made us win, because I think maybe the factor that maybe Ish Smith, or not Ish Smith, I should say, but, on our team, DeAngelo Russell, maybe him coming in different parts of the game, or maybe that impacted the game a lot. And Karis LeVert, I'm telling you, Rondae Hollis-Jefferson is going to beat Karis LeVert every single day of the week. If you look at our team, this is what you're probably waiting for in this game. Who did good? Garrett Temple. Fantastic game from him. Shot 3 for 4 from 3. 19 points. He did have 5 fouls, so he was actually close to fouling out. However, he played a fantastic game and played fantastic for us. And, coming off that bench behind, 4th string and that shooting guard only playing 2 minutes, but as backup small forward, that's incredible. He really played well against DeMarre Carroll, because DeMarre Carroll was obviously in that backup small forward role. And if you look at our team, we really did play incredible. Ish Smith, though. Ish Smith. You see above, we had 5 players who had over 10 points, but Ish Smith had, and I understand this is fine for Ish Smith if he has 2 points. But the problem with Ish Smith, in my opinion, is that he only had 3 assists, which is worrying because Jeremy Lin did end up having 4. So that's a little concerning with me, the fact that he just didn't get enough assists as I wanted him to do. Stanley Johnson, where's he? Ugh. Him too, 1 for 7 shooting and 4 rebounds, that's okay. 3 assists, that's okay. 3 total points though, that's not very good. Garrett Temple, obviously, he was the player of the game. And really though, because Temple was the player of the game, he took that game by surprise, proving that trading him, I was really trading him to get a good backups, like especially Cauley Stein I really like. However, Garrett Temple, we traded Jeremy Lin, however, maybe that was good that we traded Jeremy Lin because we got Garrett Temple. And Garrett Temple really played well. I really traded him just for that contract because he has a pretty large contract. However, he had a fantastic 19 points and he shot really well. 6 for 9 and 3 for 4 from 3 with also 4 for 5 from rebounds, 80%. Or not rebounds, but 4 for 5 from the free throw line. Who had 4 of 9 free throws, that's pretty good. If you also look at our team, Hollis Jefferson, another player to look at, 6 turnovers, that could be a problem. But he did have 6 assists, and he did have 7 rebounds. He had 1 assist and 7 rebounds, so that's really good. And if you look on their team, obviously, Lynn, 15, 10, and 4. If you look at the total assists, they only had 13. We had 23. And they only had 2 scorers in double digits. We had 5, which I think was really what gave us that win. And Temple will start. If he does that next game, he will possibly start in the team. Game number 2, though, what happens? They end up winning 91-77. If you look at the box score, what really happened? They really took the game by storm after that second half. They were only leading by 3 at halftime. However, that turn, leading by 3, they were leading 41-48, or not 41-38, and they ended up winning 91-77. Though that's a problem that in both these games we haven't played well in that second half. If you look on the regular Nets team, 14 points from Sean Kilpatrick. That's a very nice game. Trevor Booker, 12 and 13. Very nice. How did Jeremy Lin do? He shot 2 for 8, so 5 points only and 5 rebounds only. And also 2 assists, so I think Ish Smith could beat that in terms of those numbers. I'm hoping he does because I don't want him to really play better because that may not prove that my trades were that good. However, we'll see based on the series how my trades were if we do end up winning. Timothy Mozgov did foul out, 6 fouls, but he did have 9 points and 9 rebounds. So close to a double-double, but because he fouled out, he didn't get that. On our team, Rondae Hollis Jefferson played well, 10 and 11. Brooke Lopez played incredible, 16 and 8. Ish Smith, yes, he showed up with 7 points, but he did shoot only 3 for 8. However, he did get 3 rebounds and 3 assists, and 3 assists I love to see from him. And 15 points from Cauley-Stein with 7 rebounds. That's great. If you look at our team, Temple had 0 points, which, if you really look at that team, from an incredible first game to a terrible second game, it shows that he could possibly mean a lot to this team. And the fact that I don't take it as the fact that he had a terrible game. I take it as the fact that, when he has a bad game, we actually end up losing. If we won this game, I trust the team and how good this team is. However, Garrett Temple, 0 points. That could be, if he scores 15 points, we win. That's something to look at. Luol Deng, he didn't play well. So he'll end up probably taking over that 6th man in the next game because he hasn't played well in the series. He only had 5 points. And also Garrett Temple did have only 16 minutes. Deng had 28. So yeah, that's something to look at. Stanley Johnson is also going to get less minutes. 3 points in 2 games. He played almost 40 minutes and got 3 points. I understand he's supposed to be a defensive player. However, not 3 points. At least get 6 points or something. And then 19 turnovers is just absurd. 19. They only had 13. They had 6 less than us. That's incredible. How bad we played there. Their team, the story was that they had 11 more rebounds. Booker, 12 and 13. And both teams, something to look at though, both teams didn't shoot well. So actually looking at it though, with Stanley Johnson, maybe it was the wrong idea. Maybe that I was saying how good he was defensively, but maybe I should have got like a very good 3-point shooter and whatnot. That's something to look at. And here, you're probably looking on the screen at the depth charts, how it's going to kind of shift around. Rondae Hollis Jefferson playing a ton of minutes, to be honest, but that's kind of what we need in the team. Rondae Hollis Jefferson to play a lot. Garrett Temple, though, he's going to take over that starting role, play 26 minutes a game. Hopefully that, works. Luol Deng does drop. He's only going to play 15 minutes. Stanley Johnson, I'm only going to give him, 6 minutes? Because I didn't like how he played. And based on how he plays in the next games with those 6 minutes, and if we start losing, maybe I'll put him back at 10 minutes, but we have to see what happens. But Game 3 proves that my moves could have been right. My tactical moves for this game could have been great. We won 109 and 81, and we were away. They were the home team. We ended up scoring 36 points in the first quarter. And every quarter, we actually scored more points than them in every single quarter. Rondae Hollis Jefferson, 20 points, 12 rebounds. That's great. Brooke Lopez, 19 points, 10 rebounds. How did Garrett Temple do? He had 8 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists. He shot 2 for 4. I liked how he played. I actually do really like how he played. Ish Smith, 7 and 4. I do like to see that. Maybe I look to play him more minutes a little because maybe that will make him so he will maybe give more assists. Took less shots this game, 2 for 5. I do like that because I did not like when he had 11 or shot like 7, trying to shoot 7 buckets a game. Willie Cauley-Stein has played incredible this whole series, shooting very well, 7 for 8, and scoring a total of 17 points with also 7 rebounds. So he played great. Luol Deng, though, coming off the bench, he looked like a leader off the bench. 9 rebounds, 6 points. That's very nice. And Isaiah Whitehead had a surprise game, 10 points. So everyone played well this game. On their team, they did have 5 players that scored over 10 points, but they only shot 23.5% from 3, 8 for 34 in total. And yeah, not really much to say with their team. Jeremy Lin is having an incredible series, which is, I'm regretting my trade. I'm regretting that I should have probably held off with that Stanley Johnson, Ish Smith, and gone with something else. gone with maybe a sharpshooter. However, on our team, the player of the game ended up being Rondé Hollis-Jefferson because he played outstanding. And that was the blowout win for us. And none of these games, if you look at this series, none of them have been close. And for our team, again, good choice starting Temple, benching Deng. It led us to win in a blowout. Rondé Hollis-Jefferson had an outstanding game. He showed that he can lead this Nets team in this next season. In real life, too. He can show that he can lead this Nets team because, they don't care how bad they do. They don't have their draft pick. Because they obviously gave that to the Celtics. So I think Hollis-Jefferson could be great in real life. He did draw a lot of fouls, which is great. He shot well from the free throw line. He's just been incredible. And in this game, we came back from those terrible amount of turnovers. We only had 9 this game, which is a good job considering obviously the last game was terrible. And as I said, insane first quarter. And overall, this was an amazing win. No one on our team disappointed. And on their team, they committed many fouls. They had many turnovers. It was just very below average for their team. The only player to really play well was Jeremy Lin. And then we go to Game 4, which we are up 3-1 in the series. We won 101-91. Again, pretty good blowout. We had an amazing fourth quarter, 32-18 in that fourth quarter. And then DeAngelo Russell, 20 points. That's nice to see for our team. Hollis-Jefferson had a great game, 13 rebounds. Hollis-Jefferson is playing incredible in terms of the rebounds. I expected him to get, 16 points, but with him getting 13 rebounds and also 5 assists, 2 to add to that, that's really incredible from him. And then we also see on the regular Nets team, Trevor Booker had a great game, 19-7. Rondé Hollis-Jefferson, great game for them, 7-9. DeAngelo Russell, 18 points. Jeremy Lin, 13 points. And also, Karis LeVert did have 9 points. So, all around good game from them, but they just couldn't win. Obviously, Rondé Hollis-Jefferson is the player of our game for our team. Only got 12 points, but got 13 rebounds, 13 boards. That's incredible. Led our team to win. And if you look at the team, DeAngelo Russell, he's finally showing up at 20 points. Because so far, he's a mediocre series. I don't think that's going to happen in real life. I think he'll have a great season in real life, possibly most improved player. And 32 points in that fourth quarter. That's incredible. We got to the line a lot. We drew many fouls. And, Stanley Johnson was not playing well at all on the offensive and defensive side. I thought it might be a good trade, but, Ish Smith's not playing that well. Stanley Johnson's not playing that well, so that looks like a bad trade on my part. Especially because we traded a player who's really excelling on their team in Jeremy Lin. And but their team, they shot horrible, and throughout the series they cannot hit that 3-pointer, 23.8%. And Booker played well. However, Trevor Booker, he should have had more rebounds, only at 7. From him in the series, you expect like 12, 11 rebounds. And in Game 5, the closeout game, yes, it is the game. We take home the series. We're not blowing a 3-1 lead. We win 87-78. You're on the regular Nets team. Rondé Hollis-Jefferson had 12 boards, however, 5 points. DeAngelo Russell, 16 points, 7 rebounds. Trevor Booker, 13 points, 9 boards. They played decent, actually. However, we ended up winning that game. We had players like, oh my God, looking at it now, Brook Lopez, 25 points. And I'll tell you, they ended up giving the game MVP to Rondé Hollis-Jefferson with 13 and 15. That doesn't make sense because 25 and 8 from Brook Lopez is just incredible. 8 for 17, 7 for 11 from free throws, and even 2 for 5, 40% from a center. That's great. And yeah, again though, shooting 32.5% from their team. We shot 41.2%, which is great. And yes, Brook Lopez coming up clutch in that final game, proving that we made a good trade with that. Probably our best trade of this whole episode. He had 25 points, 2 for 5 from 3, 7 from 11 from the free throw line. Also 8 boards, which is incredible. And we also had 8 blocks. They only had 2 blocks, showing we are a good defensive team. But yeah, I think we should improve. We should have improved on that shooting, but we did have a good shooting from our team. And it's really surprising that we did have a good shooting game, because players like Ish Smith, Garrett Temple, Rondae Hollis-Jefferson, they're not really known for that 3-point shooting, or just shooting in general. Hollis-Jefferson and Temple, they're known a lot for attacking that basket. Ish Smith, again, known for passing. And Ish Smith didn't shoot that well, however, other players made up for it. I bet he was a good veteran leader on the team. And on their team, 12 steals, but only 2 blocks. The starting lineup was great, but because they don't have that bench on the team, because they barely even have a good starting lineup on the Nets team in real life, the bench didn't play that well. Mozgov and Hollis-Jefferson didn't play well even the whole series, and this was overall just a disappointing series from the regular Nets team. And I think, maybe acquire someone with good shooting could really lead them far and into this next season. And so what I learned this whole series, the MVP of this series was R. Hollis-Jefferson. He always played well, and this is something the Nets should look forward to in the up-and-coming season, and especially, not just next season, but in the next 5 years for this Nets team, unless he does end up leaving the Nets and going to another team. Because I think Rondae Hollis-Jefferson is an amazing player, and the Trailblazers shouldn't have traded him on draft night, because just imagine having him with a team of Damian Lillard and CJ McCollum. That would be great. So, what I did learn, though, the team in real life is not going to be that great in terms of shooting. Like other teams, they really just need to invest in a shooter that can get many threes into that basket. Someone like a Ray Allen, a Steph Curry, a Klay Thompson, that type of shooter. Kyle Korver even is a good option. And I'm not saying, they can get players like Stephen Curry, because obviously for the Nets that's probably impossible. However, you can always get players like Kyle Korver. You could always get, a good, Channing Frye's available too. Those types of players are definitely available for the team. And you maybe look to do that with a draft pick. Obviously, they got Jared Allen in the draft, filling the void of their center, and he could be the center for years. He's high-risk Kyra Ward type player. However, maybe in the draft next year with one of their draft picks, they go for a good shooting guard or a good shooting point guard, that type of thing. And the Nets are making moves in real life, and they aren't going to be known as the worst team in basketball anymore, I don't think. I think the Pacers, the Hawks, the Magic maybe, the Bulls, all those teams have a chance to be the worst team in basketball. However, the Nets with DeAngelo Russell, they're not the worst team in basketball anymore. They have Timothy Mozgov, DeMarre Carroll. They've compiled a pretty good team in this offseason, which is surprising because how bad they are and how good the moves they've made are. And I will actually probably be making a blog post on this because I just find it interesting where they have great defense, but they can't really shoot. And it is why I traded for Stanley Johnson, and he didn't play well, and that's why, because they already have good defenders. They don't need Stanley Johnson. But really, I should have invested in a shooter. Someone, again, Channing Frye maybe. Just that type of player. I think that would have been incredible to get. But anyway, this video is kind of dragging on. We're about to hit, probably when you're watching this, it's going to be about 40 minutes long. That's a pretty long video. If you did watch this far, thank you for watching. And, yeah, thanks for watching. Make sure to hit the like button if you did enjoy this video. Hit the dislike button if you didn't enjoy this video. But let me know in the comment section why you didn't like the video. Let me know any thoughts or opinions on it. Yeah, that's going to do it for this episode. Make sure to hit the subscribe button too. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the notification bell if you do enjoy this video and the other videos on my channel. And yeah, thanks for watching and have an amazing day. Bye!